We continued east on US 90, crossing the Mississippi border. Once we were in civilization, we took a small scenic detour and headed south on Waveland Avenue. Turn left on South Beach Boulevard, follow the beach and into Old Town Bay St. Louis.
In 1812, there was a war between the United States and Great Britain, and there was a sea battle right up here. They had 5 little small American gunboats, and they attacked the British fleet that was preparing to attack New Orleans. Well, all the Americans succeeded in doing were kind of delaying the British. They finally got to New Orleans, and Andy Jackson completed the task right there in the Battle of New Orleans.
So all they did, they set up, their job was to stop the fleet here from England a little bit, and then we took over when they got to New Orleans, huh?
Well, I guess if they could stop them, but they were really kind of outgunned. What they did succeed in doing was just kind of delaying the whole thing.
So there's a lot of history in this area then.
It was time for lunch, so before reconnecting with US 90, we stopped at a popular biker hangout in this quaint coastal town.
One thing about cruising makes you really hungry. And now we're at the famous Fire Dog Saloon in Bay St. Louis.
That's right, Hank. We're right here in Old Town Bay St. Louis on South Beach Boulevard. This place is famous for the most delicious burgers on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, including the famous Juicy Lucy.
I'm going to order the Juicy Lucy. We'll be right back after this message. Today in our safety segment, I want to talk to you a little bit about traveling in heavy traffic. One of the things that I do whenever I'm riding in traffic is I always look for an escape route. I never trust the guy next to me. So if I'm pulling up on a car and I'm in their blind spot and I have any doubts whatsoever, I'll do one of two things. I'll either drop back so that I got a way to escape their cutting into my lane, or I'm going to pull up in front of them so I can get a little eye contact so that person can see and know that I'm there. But I want to tell you something. Even if they see you, that doesn't mean that they're not going to cut over in your lane. So you be awake at all times. Look for a way to get out. Now, another thing that you shouldn't do, don't go faster than the speed limit. Watch yourself going through lights. Never jump through a yellow light. I want to tell you something. Those cars are pretty big. They can hurt you. So you want to be on the safe side at all times. Again, from Safety Segment and Hank Knapp, Psycho Fever, and all the rest of us, ride safe, enjoy yourself. This is a great sport. Always be awake. Watch for the person in front of you.
After reconnecting with US 90 and crossing over the Bay St. Louis Bridge, there's a detour off of US 90 worth taking. It's East Beach Boulevard, and it has some of the most amazing homes Hank and I will never be able to afford.
Hank, these houses along this stretch, they run the full range from just little small coast cottages to turn-of-the-century mansions. You notice the lots, they're not very wide, but some of this property probably goes back as much as maybe half a mile, Hank. You want to try and cut that with a push mower?
The people that own these, Bill, are they the older generation or the younger generation coming up buying these?
It's kind of a mix, Hank. You know, these homes were originally started by industrialists and people of commerce out of New Orleans right after the Civil War. And this was their summer home. They kind of got out of the city heat. The Civil War was a turning point on a lot of this architecture. And on any of these homes that were built before the Civil War or the war between the states, they're always referred to as antebellum homes.
So if it's before the Civil War, it's antebellum, and then do they have a name for them after, or just?
Yeah, they call these houses that were built after the war, houses that were built after the war.